So, a 78-year-old tries to kill her lawyer. The very individual who was, yes, supposed to be representing her for court reasons and more, she tried to, in fact, shoot and kill. Quite disturbing and yet interesting at the same time. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as an ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. Shouts out to all the other Discovery influencers as well. My photo up above. But yes, 78-year-old tried to shoot and kill her lawyer. That's beyond the... That's amazing in itself. Because to consider her age, though, as to say, was it really going to make it all the way there? Some people at that age will be right on target and beyond with even that. And yet, that's interesting. As she was not playing, she was highly serious. So, location, Louisiana, Covington, Louisiana, was in fact the location. A 22-year-long sentence has been placed on a 78-year-old who tried to kill her lawyer. I said that in the opening. But 22 years, is that long enough, dear viewers? Let me know what you think and fill in the comment section about 22 years for this individual. 78 years old, receiving a 22-year-long sentence. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing or too many years? Because consider her age. So Patricia Curry was 75 years old when she aimed a shotgun at her lawyer. This took place a few years back. Miss Curry was 75 years old when she aimed a shotgun at her lawyer, Keith Couture, back in 2016. As she attempted to aim the shotgun at him, of course, it was loaded. She held no remorse from the beginning on up to the courtroom, right? And she wasn't honest over the dispute with him. She was not honest. She held no remorse, no sympathy or anything else, right? Back in August 2019, Curry was convicted of attempted second-degree murder. Attempted second-degree murder was, in fact, what she was convicted of and for. Yes. That carried a minimum of 10 years. Minimum of 10 years. Prosecutors, though, requested Curry serve 50 years maximum in sentencing. Prosecutors, in fact, wanted her to serve more time in place of less, right? For prosecutors, yeah, that's the show. I'm able to see that her facial expression and everything in that courtroom says a lot about a person enough for prosecutors, and even her wording in the courtroom for prosecutors, yes, to request for 50 years maximum in sentencing. It shows there was a lack of care completely on Miss Curry's end, because to not have any remorse and get to saying anything in the courtroom, people do all type of things, scream, fight, and all the rest, right, in the courtroom, right? And yet for this woman to be 78 years old and the prosecutors say that she, yes, should serve 50 years maximum, is to say even they felt she was a highly dangerous person. Because usually prosecutors, it consists of, different races and ages and all the rest, right? But many of those individuals hold a certain amount of care towards the elderly, right? Depending on the situation as in what occurred, right? They hold some form of sympathy for individuals, the elderly. And yet to say that, well, she needs to receive the maximum is to show that, yeah, They're like, we don't want to take any chances with this woman. She's highly dangerous, right? She could have been dangerous in her younger years, and it's possibly something she might not even be telling or speaking on. The prosecutors probably more likely had to be thinking it in order for them to put in that request of 50 years maximum in sentencing. So Curry's lawyer testified in August. Her lawyer testified in August, and he stated that she showed up to his place of residence. There was no one at the home with him when she showed up, meaning he was there all alone, minding his own business when she arrived, right? She had grocery bags, the plastic kind, around her feet, right? The woman was on a manhunt for real at 78 years old. She had plastic grocery bags on her feet. She had a towel across her lap. And she had latex gloves on both of her hands. Right? He asked this 70-year-old, this lawyer asked this 78-year-old why she had paid him a visit. And her response was she was there to kill him. Nobody, no attorney, lawyer, law, police, FBI, and all the rest, K9, guard dogs, nobody wants to hear that you're there to kill them, right? Consider that. Dear viewer, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think and feel about this story. Leave a comment, opinion, the rest, right? So she asks once again why she was there. He asks once again why. See, she's smiling in her photo, right? He asked her why she was there, and she responded back, "I'm here to kill you." She was laughing and grinning in her photo, right? And yet that's the question. What was her response when she was there? Was it the same laugh or grimace or anything like that, right? She let him know she was there to kill him. So her having that shotgun and what she did have, willing and ready to kill him, right? It took him fighting her off to remove the gun from both of her hands. Because she was so serious, as in there was no joking matter, no laughing matter right then, right? So again, Curry's shotgun was loaded, but two, she hid even more ammunition in her underclothes. Very interesting individual. To say people in this world are different and unique is to say with that sort of thing, right? And yet I'm trying to figure out, usually you do that sort of thing if it's a home break-in, and yet there's more to the story. I'm getting to it. I know I'm getting to it, right? So she hid even more ammunition in her underclothes, as a box of ammunition could too be found in her car. So Curry's confession testament before the court was that she did not hold intention to kill him, but she was really just interested in scaring him. She stated she wasn't interested in killing him, she just wanted to scare him. So that was basically a scare tactic. Kind of like the news. And yet ornamental, because he used a gun. That's interesting in itself. Ornamental, using the gun, right? So, reasons for attempted killing. Reasons for attempted murder on the end of the senior citizen, that 78-year-old. Her lawyer no longer wanted to act on her behalf as her lawyer, as she wanted him to in relation to her bankruptcy case. She took it that far, as in very far. Going to court for bankruptcy, as in you're going to need somebody really good, a strong-spirited individual, strong-willed, to see you through that sort of thing, situation, right? Needing someone strong-willed and highly elevated to help you with that sort of thing, the bankruptcy case. And yet, for a lawyer to no longer want to represent you could in fact lead to his very own, the ending of his life, right? So yeah, he no longer wanted to act on her behalf as her lawyer as she wanted him to in relation to her bankruptcy case. And if she serves her full sentence, she will be in for, I was going to say 100 years, but she won't be, let me see. Let me calculate that. 22. To serve 22 years at 78 years old, to say she'll be 100 years old when she's released. Some people don't live to see the light of day for even that, as in they die out before. Because even though pressure goes on behind the four walls of a jail cell to say, man, would have you escaped with that? I'm saying, because see, now she's in deeper shit in a sense, right? She's in much more deeper, yeah. Because see, to be in bankruptcy, right? That old woman caused her actual own problems. Hopefully it don't lead to her committing no suicide or nothing. But to be 78 years old and then you got a bankruptcy case, right? Need the attorney, right? He says he's done. He don't want to take you on and try to help you out with that, right? He want to pass you on to somebody else or something, right? He dropping you out of his hands is to say, now not only do you have a bankruptcy case, the 78-year-old, now you too got a jail record. So now she's going to be going back and forth to court for both. You see what I'm saying? How one situation led to another thing. That's amazing in itself. That 70-year-old actually caused more issues in trying to shoot and kill him. Because they have a bankruptcy case is to say, well, now that's there. As in she's still going to have to go to court for that sort of thing. And yet more than likely, he's not being tried in court goes along with that. The new jail record. Now her life is completely in shambles. So questions. So Curry hired the lawyer to represent her. I said that in a bankruptcy case. But he was no longer interested in representing her, which makes me question why she failed to hire someone else as a lawyer. Why not hire someone else with that instead of trying to take his life, right? If she felt the lawyer was the best in the business, then why try to kill him? That's the second question. Dear viewers, tell me what you think. If he was the best, why try to kill him? It's the bankruptcy, right? But why not hire another lawyer in his place, right? Once again, it goes back to the bankruptcy. Analyzing that, because to say you're going through bankruptcy as in filing and all the rest is to say low funds, money could stand in that, right? Not enough money to hire another lawyer, which could have been the issue to begin with. Don't never know how much the payout would have been to even him, right? Bankruptcy cases and not being able to afford and getting whatever lawyer you can to handle your disputes, right? Not everybody has the funds to be able to afford stuff like that, right? Completely. Overall. Enough to skip that lawyer and go to another one, right? That could have been her situation, as she might have been stuck with him financially, right? That lawyer. And yet he didn't want to be stuck with her. So for her to just be stuck completely low funded or something, bankruptcy and all the rest is to try to take his lights out, right? Well, let's see. Yeah, because there could have been. I got the part of him no longer wanting to represent her, right? But if he was the best at what he did, I'm sure there were others just as good in which she could have hired. Remember, there's levels to everything in life. She could have contacted someone, right? That's to say, she would have had to call around, or family member or somebody, and yet there's timing with that. There's going to be a hold up with that, trying to find somebody on his level, as well as seeing how much they charge, possibly at the very same level. Some people got skills, right? They got skills, and yet they might in fact charge more, right? Some people charge more and yet their skills are less, right? But still, in order to find somebody else to replace him, as I say, there would have been more time needed in that on her own end. She would have had to, I'm trying to make the connection with that. She would have tried to reach out to other lawyers, and yet even that possibly would have set her back, because to know that you got some type of bankruptcy issues, to say there's a timing with that. There's a timing with everything. If things don't get taken care of, that's how people get placed out of house and home, even in bankruptcy or bankruptcy cases and all the rest, right? Stuff is not handled at a timely fashion, as I say, even she could have possibly ended up homeless, right? This elderly woman, which could have possibly infuriated her even more, dealing with him, knowing he wanted to walk away, because even that had to be in the back of her mind, thinking about that. Well, if I don't handle this mess, this bankruptcy mess in time, as I say, even I could end up on the street, right? That's possibly why she went over to his place of residency, yes, and had the interest to shoot and kill him, right? But if she could afford him, maybe she couldn't afford any other lawyer. Because see, even elderly, consider that, even elderly individuals are known to be stuck in their own ways, right? The older people get, they don't want to take chances on other people. And if they've been knowing you for longer, she might have known him for longer, as in there might have been trust built and all the rest, right? It's to say, if she's been knowing the lawyer for longer periods of time, it's to say she might not felt safe with anybody else. Remember, elderly people are known for that sort of thing, to get to do something, as to say, well, I'm with him and I'm gonna stay with him and I'm gonna use him outside of just bankruptcy, right? I don't want no other lawyers doing that, as in he does a mighty fine job and I'm gonna stick with him. That might have been her mindset, right? The leeriness of not wanting to be with any other lawyer, right? Because even lawyers have been known to even mess up big cases. Not many people know that, depending on, yes, your focus, right? Your viewers, right? Not many people know that even lawyers have been known to mess up, as in make who they're representing in court look very bad. I believe it was the rapper Lil Wayne, even for high profile cases, right? I believe it was Lil Wayne, the rapper, and other people who have been known to go off on their lawyer in the courtroom because the lawyer embarrassed them in the courtroom. So yeah, not everybody is trustable of who represents them, right? Some are, some aren't, and yet some people are not willing to take chances. Once again, some people are leery of that sort of thing. So once again, bankruptcy and killing lawyers. Being over 70 years old. Remember, she's almost 80. She's not just turning 70. This incident happened when she was 75, right? She's way, way up there, right? Somewhat close near the grave. So being over 70 years old is a bit too old to sit worrying over bankruptcy. Think about that. And yet for the prosecutors once again to want, as in they requested her to receive the maximum, and I said that 3 times, the maximum sentence of 50 years, right? It's to say even they have had to they must have read into her mindset in that courtroom. That's their job, right? Reading into mindsets, the prosecutors, right? Because once again, she's almost 80 years old. So she has 2 years to go, right? But to be that age sitting worrying over bankruptcy, that's a lot of stress on the brain at almost 80 years old. Because even old little women, like she seemed like she might be more younger in the mind, right? Which could be why she took her chances, took her risk of trying to go and kill him. Some elderly people would have clonked out right then. Hearing the news that, oh, he doesn't want to represent me anymore, leading to more stress, they wouldn't have even taken it that far going to his place of residency. Residence, that lawyer, right? They would have just been about their business, elderly individual, and possibly would have had a heart attack or stroke thinking about them no longer having a lawyer and them going through bankruptcy. Maybe that lawyer considered that she might have been a violent individual to begin with. As in, there's more to the story that even the lawyer is not saying himself. Sometimes people leave and walk away representing you because they can tell that there's more. The reason why they no longer want to represent you, as she's smiling right there, right? There's more to her right up under the smiles. Is to say for her to be bankrupt is to say there's more behind that, as in the reason why she's bankrupt, right? And the lawyer knows. Maybe she started to show her violent streak before it got that far to her wanting to kill him. Maybe she started to show signs before him, in front of him, while you sit down and communicate with your lawyer, right? There's signs and things that even lawyers look for, that this person, I don't know. I don't think I want to represent them anymore. Maybe she started to show certain things, signs of violence, or maybe he feared for his life or something. That could have been a thing, right? Because even lawyers have been killed in representing people, right? Some people have that gut instinct, this person might in fact do something to me. I might in fact need to pass them off once again to somebody else. Even lawyers have intuition with that sort of thing, right? Some people say, well, lawyers lie. That's how they get people off and all the rest. But they do have instinct too, as in to get away from whoever they feel is not safe, right? So it's quite easy for a 70-year-old over, let's say 80, seeming she's close there, right? It's easy for her at her age to get behind in bills or miss payments, which leads to bankruptcy for some too, right? There's all type of reasons of why people get slapped with bankruptcy. But to know that old people, that's retirement age, right? It's to say even a forgetful mindset is even in that. Could have been. There's all type of things and reasons why she might in fact is going through bankruptcy, right? Not wanting to pay things. It all depends on the individual. The woman that I'm speaking on, there could have been late payments, missed payments, right? Forgetfulness, right? Or it just could be because to be laughing, grinning, smiling, and to say possibly a younger acting mindset. Who knows, right? Or maybe they said something to her that made her laugh and smile, right? That could have been. Sometimes humans, we judge things and don't know the full complete story. Just because she's smiling doesn't really mean that she's standing there smiling because of what she did. Maybe an officer or something said something to her funny and then they just clicked the photo, right? And there you have it, right? But there's much more to why she's in bankruptcy, and I said that for the 10th time, right? But the stress and all of that, that will push somebody younger to know you're going through bankruptcy and all the rest, file for that. As I say, even that will push a younger individual to wanting to commit murder. Because some people become so livid in knowing that they're going through bankruptcy, as in, for some people, consider this. Bankruptcy for some people are in fact a fresh start, as in a new start. I'm going to start over, and there my record is screwed and all the rest, right? In relation to that, and yet I get to start over, right? Freedom. It's freedom in my hands with that. But not everybody thinks that way. They think life is over, right? Some people, younger people, would even take it that far, trying to commit murder. They don't care who it is. It could be a bill collector, right? Or various bill collectors or whatever, right? The banks and all the rest. People have committed all type of murders and all stuff, right? Maybe she felt trapped in her situation. Bankruptcy in itself is a trap for some people in their mindset once it hits them, as in they see no way out. They just see that. Because for some people, they view bankruptcy as in, a dark hole, as in something they can't escape, and everything starts to go downhill after that. For some people, that's what they feel. Well, since I'm in bankruptcy, you never know what more this is going to lead to, as in it's going to get dark and worse. People have been known to commit suicide. I said that before. And being bankrupt, as in some people have in fact killed their whole family, husband, wife, kids, and all the rest, because there's a darkness in that. As in, usually grown men, oftentimes females too, but more so grown men commit suicide in that, because to know that you're in America a working man, sound mindset, even some of the most soundest mindsets have been known to commit suicide, and that men more so than women, right? Because to be a man is to be a strong and bold man, right? And not everybody can take the stress of living up to being a complete full man, right? Because even that shame and that from neighbors, family members, and all the rest, you in fact receive shame. Well, I'm supposed to be a man. I'm supposed to take care of my family. I got 3 or 4 kids, such as mouths to feed. That's to say, if a bankruptcy is there, it might in fact separate my household, as in my wife might in fact file divorce. That's not to say wives get married to their husbands just for money. No, there's a percentage that in fact do, right? But to know that a household can be torn apart even in bankruptcy is to say that's in fact how even husbands have been known to lose their kids, right? They start losing everything, and then the wife goes off, leaves with the kids, right? Because the husband can no longer provide and support, so now she must go and provide for her kids, right? And all the rest, right? If everything is in his name, it's to say, well, now she can leave, possibly go start a new life. And yet not all wives are like that. You got wives that will in fact stick and stay, because to have kids together with the husband is to say, we did this together, so why not endure the struggle together, right? I'm just saying, stuff like that does in fact lead to suicide for even men, because they know that even they're going to be looked down upon. And yet there's individuals like this woman right here that could care less about looking. She was more so looking at her situation, as in, where we headed with this, right? You just never know, right? Not everybody can escape situations like that, bankruptcy. I'm saying it because it things come for even the most goodest people in society that have lost everything, right? And yet they've never committed crimes. They were good to others. They've done good deeds for others, and yet many of them people too have lost it all. Some people have in fact lost it all from trying to help other people. That too is how you lose everything, depending on who you're trying to help in a situation, right? Because to put stuff in your name for other people is to say they can walk away, leave you stuck with the bills and all the rest, right? There's hopelessness in that. shows that whoever you try to help might have not cared for you and leaving you stuck and stranded with bills in your name, which placed you in bankruptcy, right? But yeah, we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo sits in the far left corner right there. You never know anyone's life story. I try not to judge everybody's situation, right? If I don't clearly know. And yet to analyze, pick things apart is to say there's going to be some judgment in that. It just comes with the territory, right? But you do try to figure out, even outside of situations like this, well, why did that happen? Why was that? In your everyday life, trying to understand even human logic and reasoning. I said that millions of times. That's why this is here. At face, at view, right? Yeah. Never know what you're going to be forced to endure in life and all the rest, right? Situations. You never know because even life is unpredictable. So, new episodes. To gain access to this right here. The key. Signing in. This right here. Because that's in fact what you're going to greet if you come on here. This right here, right? It's to say you're going to have to provide who you're subscribed to. That's the only way you're going to gain access to that. Gaining access is all exclusive. So to receive an audio visual preview is a click right here, the play button, and you would in fact receive an audio visual preview. Unlocked episodes. You can in fact do the same thing here too. Audio visual previews. To click the play button. Various choices. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda as well as Paula. And all the rest of the, yes, Discovery influencers. ID Go original series. Crime feed. Crime feed news. To gain access to the crime feed is a click right within here. You would in fact be directed to the outside crimefeed.com. Full of latest, greatest murder and mayhem. There's a mother that tried to impersonate her daughter. Man, her daughter must have been that thing. As in someone that everybody liked, admired, and adored for a mom to try to impersonate a daughter. To receive a newsletter is to type your email address in and click next, and you would in fact receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery. Yes, a mom tries to impersonate her daughter. She looks like somebody, the mother in her mugshot looks like someone from the group Kiss. Kiss, remember? Is that rock and roll? The band, the group, right? In her mugshot. She's got that punk rock type of style going and got a mean look on her face. The chances you take is to say you never know with that sort of thing. So yes, I think that is all for now, dear viewers. Enjoy your day, and I will in fact enjoy mine, and I'm gone for now.